name is Greg.
I'm Erin.
And I'm Ashley.
And together, we're the LGBT Services Group. Ta-da! So, basically, we were volunteers at a community center in San Diego that caters to the LGBT population. And it was a wonderful experience for myself. I haven't had much experience with the LGBT population, but overall they were very welcoming and kind, and it's a population that I would definitely like to work with in the future.
Definitely. I have had a lot of experience with the LGBT community through friends and friends. So working with them was just a more reinforcement that I really do enjoy that population and find it more diverse. I think that's why I really was drawn to it, because of the diversity in the community. Because it's not just sexual orientation, it's identity.
I agree completely. I mean, sexual orientation, it's found in all ethnicities, all races, religions. I mean, it's not just one demographic that fits the mold of being gay or transgender.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think that people need to understand that just because of one interaction with someone in that community, whether it be positive and or negative, it's not to stereotype. I think that's where, and even for our book, there was a lot of, stereotypes that were in there that I thought imposed a really negative outlook on the community. So I just think that people need to be very cautious about the way that, and this goes for everyone, the way in which they interact with each other and the way in which we perceive different communities or different cultures and diverse groups.
I agree. I mean, I think that the media perpetrates a particular kind of gay person. It's usually a very stereotypical, where it's the super effeminate male or the super masculine woman. And I think that alienates a large segment of the gay population from being open with their sexuality. And so it's kind of like a perpetual cycle where the stereotypes are reinforced because those are the only ones that
are seen by people in the gay community who are just growing into themselves. I mean, when you have this 15-year-old teenager and you tell him, he's discovering he's gay, and he goes online to see, am I gay? Like, do I fit this mold? And he sees this certain mold, and I think a lot of people don't fit that mold, and that they can't be gay because that the male doesn't fit this effeminate male, or the female feels like she's not that masculine and she's not that person. And I think it kind of hurts a lot of young teens who are just coming out of the closet, and old people who are coming out of the closet.
That's a great point.
That reminds me of two situations I experienced while volunteering at our agency. I worked the front desk there on Monday evenings and Saturday mornings. And so I kind of was the point of contact for a lot of the people who went to our agency. And one of the people who came was a lesbian, and she lives in a very conservative area, and she drove, she said, I think 45 minutes to come to our agency because she felt so isolated and alone. And one of the nice things about our agency is it offers a number of discussion groups and support groups for people who are coming out of all ages. And I think that's a great service to have, and it really showed me how vital an agency like the ones we volunteered at were, because where would that girl have gone to connect with people? She would have totally felt alone, and it felt really good to be a part of something that gives someone that kind of hope.
Yeah. Well, just a little background on that, too, as well. After reading and doing a little bit of research, before agencies like this were around, people were going to nightclubs, and that's where they were finding out about how do I fit into this group, how do I fit into this mold, or find myself as, a unique individual. And, granted, a lot of people weren't of age, to go to these clubs, and so it's one of those, I'm in the closet thing until I'm 18, and then you get, like, this person, guy and or female, just out there lost trying, to find their way. So, and all in all, I think the agency is truly a blessing to not only the individual, but their families, the community, just like the well-being of our society, just providing that equality that, yes, it is perfectly fine that you are this way and we can cohabitate,
That's a great point. It's a healthy expression for one's sexuality. Whereas I'm not saying that clubs and bars are not, but
there's more of a cynicism, whatever.
Cynicism, yeah.
That a bar and a nightclub, you go in there, and the majority of people you interact with are there for a certain reason. Be it a bar, they're there to drink, they're there to pick up on other people that they're sexually attracted to, and that's not necessarily the best environment for especially young people coming out to go just throw you in the hot pot and say, okay, well, we have sex a lot, so if you're gay, the stereotype of the male gay having sex a lot, okay, well, if you're a gay, you should have sex with me, and we're promiscuous, and, I think that's really damaging to a lot of young men and women who are like, oh, okay, so I guess that's what I have to do to fit into this people. And it really takes away the idea that a lot of people have of virginity being, your first time being really important. So people just jump into that. I know a lot of people whose first times they're really disappointed by because they didn't get that typical experience because they felt they were pressured into it for one reason or another. Not to say that doesn't happen in the straight community, obviously, but I think that it's a lot easier for straight individuals to stand up and be like, no, this is how I want it and this is how it's supposed to be, compared to gay individuals who are like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. You are supposed to have sex. We're supposed to do this.
To change topics slightly, Erin, I know that you're very passionate about the transgender community, and I wanted to share a story of mine working at our volunteer agency. I had worked there for about 3 weeks at this point, where I had a heart-to-heart discussion with one of the people who volunteer there, and he disclosed to me that he was actually a female-to-male transsexual, and I never would have believed it. I mean, he looks in every way and relates to me in every way like a man.
Yes.
And I haven't had much experience with the transgender community, so it really like touched me, and it kind of made me tear up talking to him about his experience. I mean, he was married at one point to a man, and he has kids, and his kids kind of have taken his transition really hard. And one of the things that I offered him, because I'm not a counselor, and I'm not supposed to be giving advice, but I was telling him that that kids hold parents to an ideal, and as you age, you have to let your parents be happy too, and what makes them happy. And sometimes what makes your parents happy, might be disconcerting, but you got to learn to be unselfish. And that advice really seemed to resonate with them.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your experience with the transgender community?
Well, in that particular situation, I know that a lot of parents, a lot of transgender individuals. Oh, and by the way, I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form. None of us are experts on anything.
We're students.
Our individual experience. Individual experiences. Back to it. My experiences with transgender individuals who come out late in life is that many of them do have children. And I think, like you were saying, that the children need to learn to understand their parents' choices, but I know that for straight couples, when they get divorced, it's a really hardship on the children, and they lash out at the new parent's spouse too. So the fact that a parent is changing in a way they feel it's different. Anyways,
well, I think that to go relate this back to our chapter, of all about the 6 phases for self-identity, is really making sure that you have that that comparison to how you identify your heterosexuality or your homosexuality and your just your biology of yourself. So I think that once, and maybe that's something that was not mentioned in the book, you don't know how long that might take. You know what I'm saying? There's no given timeline that, well, after this happens, 6 months later, you're going to be faced with this or that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's just all about a process, and it's completely a journey, and everyone has their own. And I think the good thing about it is that they are able to eventually express themselves the way that they truly are.
And the whole thing about like the whole LGBT community is the difference in the stories of everybody, is how everybody came to this conclusion that isn't even one separate conclusion. When you have everybody who feels different ways about their sexuality and their gender with transgenders, you have multiple people who some elect to take steroids, some elect not to. Some elect to get surgery, some elect not to. And it's all about what makes you comfortable. It makes you feel like you. And I think that's really important for social workers to remember, that it's not a medical journal. It's not something you can write down and say this, 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 this. There's so many different variances in sexuality, in gender, in how you feel. An individual might dress like a typical female, but be a male, and then you call them cross-dressers, and they don't identify as cross-dressers because they haven't had a surgery, because they haven't had steroids. They still identify as, well, just because I'm biologically male, I identify as female. I don't need surgery to identify as female. I feel female. I am female. So I think a lot of, and that's really, really disconcerting to a lot of people, just to be like, I perceive you as male, but you're wearing a dress, and you want to be called Sheila. People aren't comfortable with others who are different, and that's a really big thing for individuals to accept. So for me, social work, that's a really big thing why I got into it so much, is because it's not medical journal. It's, this isn't a standard. This is a way to handle situations.
So to sort of wrap it up, what would you say is the one thing that you will take away from working with the LGBT population?
The one thing that I will take away from it is just that, everyone has a right to equality. I think that is the major issue, and it lies under healthcare, discrimination, oppression, just all those underlining negative things about anyone in any culture. Is just, if we could all treat each other equally and understand that, my illness may not be caused from the same thing that your illness was caused for, but we all deserve treatment, I think that we live in a better place.
Exactly. Like, I've really, what I've taken away from our center of residence, not residence, our volunteership. Sorry. I'm a little tired. Anyways, what I've taken away from the experience is that there's no understanding of the value of help you can do. You don't understand how much your volunteering can just impact a person, and let alone you talking to them, you being there to support them, and it's not just an LGBT community issue, it's a everybody issue. Everybody needs to, it's just, when people are more vulnerable, they're more open to support. So it's a lot easier to help them than it is a straight person who's going through trouble but doesn't want to talk about it. You have this community center where people will come together because they all understand this issue that, equality and equality of life, liberty, happiness, and it's all about love. I mean, come on, all you need is love, right?
What about you?
I will say the one thing that I got out of working with the LGBT population is the strength of the population. I mean, this is a community that's dignity and self-worth is debated when you turn on the news. How dehumanizing is that, to know that you're not even seen as a legitimate person, that you're going to hell, or you're not entitled to get married because you're bad, you're disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are people that repeatedly told this, and yet, in my experience, this is a positive stereotype, but gay people are some of the sweetest, nicest, most caring people, and it just kind of breaks your heart to know, the kind of discrimination, the kind of hatred that they face. But through it all, they're still fighting on, and sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. We're gonna wrap it up here. We've been talking a while. So basically, we're gonna conclude with what was the one thing you will take out of this experience, and how it relates to social work. What did you learn about social work, volunteering?
I learned that social work is everything. Social work literally is just interacting with each other. It's just human interaction wrapped into this nice little bow that we call social work because it's helping. It's helping people. It's helping each other. That's what I learned.
I learned that social work, it's unique to the individual, it's unique to the organization, and that education within social work, it must be continued when working with the LGBT community. It's something that we just need to make more aware. We need more resources, and as long as, you two are out there advocating, I think social work within the community is going to flourish. Thank you. I'm all flourish into something really great.
To me, social work is everything that I love. It's politics, it's economics, it's sociology, it's psychology. It's all these things wrapped under one umbrella, and it's something that I know I'm good at, that I'm passionate about, and working at our volunteer agency just reinforced that to me. It was an incredible experience, and it's one that really reinforces to me that social work is my calling, and I'm grateful for the experience. So, if you have any questions about the LGBT population or our volunteer agency, talk to either one of us, or you can look it up online. Either way, we wish you all have a wonderful summer, and hopefully if you stuck around for this whole video, you'll have taken something valuable out of it.
Bye. Thank you, guys.